Hossam Dirar was born in Cairo, Egypt 1978, but he is now based in Barcelona, Spain. He obtained his bachelor degree in Fine Art Faculty of Applied Arts in Helwan University of Cairo. He creates art in several ways, including painting, making videos, sounds, and installation art, to discuss many ideas like cultural identity, gender roles, socioeconomic, and politics. Today we are going to be focusing on two of his masterpieces. The first one is a rare and one of his least famous paintings about Egypt in his series Egyptian Revolution in 2011 called Happy New Egypt. And the second masterpiece that we are going to be talking about today is one of his installations called Multi-Plug that he made in 2012. But first, let's take a quick look on what does art represent to him and how he got into it. Dirar takes inspiration from his city, Cairo, where he was born and raised. Along with his travels, his experiences have taught him to accept differences and remain open to them. Art is his way of expressing himself. Dirar believes that life is full of images that he is trying to capture through art on his canvas. He quotes, "Abstract is my keyword, nature is my inspiration, mind, shapes, and imaginations are my basic elements." So let's start with the first artwork, which is Happy New Egypt. This title is taken from the famous saying, Happy New Year, but it was changed to Egypt because Egyptians believed that Egypt is going to become a new country after the revolution. It was like the rebirth. This painting is made out of oils on canvas, and it clearly shows what he meant by saying abstract is my keyword. When someone takes a glance at this painting, it might look like a chaos or just a bunch of random stuff on top of each other. But if you look deeply to it, from right to left, you're gonna notice that it represents the whole January Revolution from beginning to end, starting with the slogan of this revolution that was being yelled and shouted all over the country, Mubarak get out. Right under the slogan, there are people that are standing tall and proud, waving their flag, fighting and willing to sacrifice their lives for their country. Then the fire caused by the army fighting back and throwing the bombs on the innocent citizens of Egypt while disagreeing and rejecting their demands. The army uses tanks to drive over the citizens, and the government keeps putting their houses on fire. But the Egyptians are not losing hope until they reach their goal. The fire increases as well as the red strokes that represents the amount of dead bodies throughout the revolution. At the beginning, it started with a couple of red strokes, but towards the end, it was like almost half of the painting painted in red, which shows the increased number of deaths from the start of the revolution until its end. Dirar also adds different colored strokes in the background to represent the confusion people were going through during this time, but then he creates this cracked looking line that represents the end of the fight and the start of a new life. Everything after this line represents the new start that we are all waiting for. The eagle of the Egyptian flag is finally flying up high from pride. The Egyptians are back standing tall and proud, but this time after completing their mission of forcing the president to leave. They still can never forget about those who sacrificed their lives for the nation and the new generations. He also shows his love for text by writing the word Nasr, which means victory in Arabic. While painting this masterpiece, Dirar was trying to capture the moment without using photography, just like impressionism. This painting is so strong and powerful because by just looking at it, you can hear the loud cheering of the Egyptians and you can feel their anger and their passion. As written in the book Principles of Egyptian Art by Heinrich Schaeffer, Egyptians loved visual impressions, and Dirar definitely did this by grabbing our attention to all the different pieces of this painting using visuals and the vibrant and vivid colors that make it look alive. Moving on to the second masterpiece, which is the installation Multi-Plug. This installation is created by ready-mades and craft objects, which is exactly how Egyptians used to create art, according to the book Art in Egypt by G. Maspero. This installation clearly shows Dirar's understanding of a nation and a country after the January Revolution. He writes this description to show how our differences can create our strength. Looking at this installation, we can clearly notice the different colored drugs and how all the plugs are just around in a disorganized way. Each plug has a different size and shape. Some has colors, some are plain, and each is facing a different way to show the diversity in people and how each one has their own personality and mind. In this specific piece of art, Gerard wants to show how each individual has their own strengths and weaknesses. But if we all hold on to each other, we will help our nation to grow more, which is represented by how all the plugs are connected to each other to light up and create something that is useful out of unuseful things. The message he is sending his audience through this installation is that we all complete each other to develop our home and make it a better place. Regardless of our looks, age, and many different things, the only thing that matters is helping each other to light up the world because our strength is in our union. In the end, Gerard uses abstract art in a unique way to create an original piece of art that combines the principle of an idea, the emotions of his inner consciousness, and his knowledge. He wants the result of his originality to be something that we have never seen before. He believes that each one experiences the new illustrations depending on their imagination, beliefs, and perspective in life. And that's the beauty of abstract art. Being different is thinking different, and in his artwork, everything is possible.